नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. So we welcome all of you for this evening Bhagavad Gita class. So every day we have it in Hindi. On Wednesday we have it in English. So those who want to hear the Hindi translation of it can go behind. जिनको हिंदी में ट्रांसलेशन सुनना है आज की क्लास का, वो पीछे बैठिए. पीछे हो रहा है ट्रांसलेशन? हाँ, तो जिसको हिंदी में सुनना है वो पीछे जाके बैठिए. आज का क्लास अंग्रेजी में होगा. तो टुडे विल बी डिस्कसिंग भगवद गीता चैप्टर 6 टेक्स्ट 18. You can repeat responsively. यदा विनयतं चित्तम् आत्मन्येवावस्थिते निस्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यो युक्त इति उच्यते तदा. यदा विनियतं चित्तम् आत्मन्येवावतिष्ठते निस्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यो युक्त इति उच्यते तदा. यदा विनियतं चित्तम् आत्मन्येवावतिष्ठते निस्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यो युक्त इति उच्यते तदा. यदा विनियतं चित्तम् अवतिष्ठते स्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यो उच्यते तदा. यदा विनियतं चित्तम् आत्मन्येवावतिष्ठते स्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यो युक्ता इति उच्यते तदा. One more devotee. यदा विनियतं चित्तम् आत्मन्येवावतिष्ठते स्पृहः सर्वकामेभ्यो युक्त इति उच्यते तदा. Word to word meaning, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Word to word meaning, yada, when, viniyatam, particularly disciplined, chittam, the mind and its activities, atmani, in the transcendence, eva, certainly, avatisthate, becomes situated, nispriha, devoid of desire, sarva, for all kinds of, kamebhyah, material sense gratification, yuktah, well situated in yoga, iti, thus, uchyate, is said to be, tada, at that time. Translation: when the yogi, by practice of yoga, disciplines his mental activities and becomes situated in transcendence, devoid of all material desires, he is said to be well established in yoga. All of you can repeat responsively. When the yogi, by practice of yoga, disciplines his mental activities and becomes situated in transcendence, devoid of all material desires. He is said to be well established in yoga. Purport: the activities of the yogi are distinguished from those of an ordinary person by his characteristic cessation from all kinds of material desires, of which sex is the chief. A perfect yogi is so well disciplined in the activities of the mind that he can no longer be disturbed by any kind of material desire. This perfectional stage can automatically be attained by persons in Krishna consciousness. As stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam 9:4-18-20, Savai mana Krishna padara vindayor vacham sivai kuntha gunanu varnane karau harer mandira marjanadishu shrutim chakarachyuta satakathodaye mukunda linga laya darshane drisho tadbhritya gatra sparshe anga sangamam Granam cha tadpad saroja saurabhe Srimad tulasya rasanam tadarpite Padau hare kshetre padanu sarpane Shiro rishikesha padabhivandane Kamam cha dasye natu kama kamyaya Yathottama shloka janashraya ratihi. King Amrish first of all engaged his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Then, one after another, he engaged his words in describing the transcendental qualities of the Lord. His hands in mopping the temple of the Lord. His ears in hearing of the activities of the Lord. His eyes in seeing the transcendental forms of the Lord. His body in touching the bodies of the devotees. His sense of smell in smelling the scents of the lotus flowers offered to the Lord. His tongue in tasting the tulasi leaf offered at the lotus feet of the Lord. His legs in going to places of pilgrimage and the temple of the Lord. His head in offering obeisances unto the Lord. And his desires in executing the mission of the Lord. All these transcendental activities are quite befitting a pure devotee. This transcendental stage may be inexpressible subjectively by the followers of the impersonalist path. But it becomes very easy and practical for a person in Krishna consciousness, as is apparent in the above description of the engagements of Maharaj Amrish. Unless the mind is fixed on the lotus feet of the Lord by constant remembrance, such transcendental engagements are not practical. In the devotional service of the Lord, therefore, these prescribed activities are called archana, or engaging all the senses in the service of the Lord. The senses and the mind require engagements. Simple abnegation is not practical. Therefore, for people in general, especially those who are not in the renounced order of life, transcendental engagements of the senses and the mind are described above is a perfect process for transcendental achievement, which is called yukta in the Bhagavad Gita. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So, we are in the midst of a very important subject matter here today. We are discussing Bhagavad Gita chapter 6, which is entitled Dhyana Yoga. So, Bhagavad Gita contains 18 chapters, and of which there are 3 sections wherein Krishna describes in the first 6 chapters about karma, bhakti, how to dovetail karma in bhakti. In the middle 6 chapters, Krishna explains about pure bhakti. And in the last 6 chapters, Krishna describes about how we can dovetail jnana in bhakti. So here we are in the 6th chapter, wherein till the 5th chapter, Lord has explained how to attain liberation through Nishkam Karma Yoga. And in the 6th chapter, Lord will be explaining how to attain the same result, how to attain liberation through Ashtanga Yoga. And this chapter involves a lot of technicalities. A lot of technicalities are there. Just like we saw in the previous verses, Lord is describing Arjuna that in order to do this yoga system, Ashtanga Yoga means there are 8 steps towards the perfection which is called Samadhi. So there is Yam, Niyam, Asana, Dhyan, Asana, Pratyahar, Dhyan, Dharana, Samadhi. Like that 7 stages are there. Ashtanga, 8 stages are there. So the Lord explained in great detail the technicalities of how to do this yoga system. So Sucho Deshe Pratisthapya. So we can't do this yoga system in a crowded place. We need to go to a secluded place, Shuchau Deshe, a purified place, a sanctified place, where there should be no disturbance from the external sources, like a forest or some bank of a river, like that. And then lay down the asana, not too low or not too high, and then half close your eyes. If you fully close your eyes, then you may go to sleep. Or if you keep opening your eyes, then there will be so many distractions. So half close the eyes and focus on the tip of the nose. Like this, many technicalities are being discussed in this chapter. What is the goal of this yoga system? What is the goal of doing all this? The goal is to control the mind. As the Lord in the beginning of this chapter describes that this mind is our greatest enemy, and it can also be made into our greatest friend. Bandhur atma atmanastasya yenatmaiva jidatmana anatmanatu shatrutve vartetatmaiva shatruvat. So bandhu, this mind is our friend, and it is also our enemy. Depends on the training. Depends on what? Training. So if we train the mind to be our friend, then it will act as our friend. Just like a pet animal. There is a dog. So initially when the master gets the dog is untrained. And he does all mischief. Jai Shri Radha Ras Bihari Ji ki Jai, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada की जय। दर्शन कुछ समय के लिए बंद हो रहे हैं, 8:30 बजे फिर से खुलेंगे, तब तक के लिए आप भगवद गीता का श्रवण कीजिए। So, just like a pet dog, he may be untrained in the beginning, and the master has to train him. Yes? Or in the circus, we see lions and tigers. They are ferocious animals. Yes? But just one person, we see the ringmaster controlling so many tigers at once and telling them to jump across a ring of fire. So it is unbelievable, right? That how come such a powerful animal, a tiger or a lion, come to obey a human and do such a ferocious task, such a dangerous task which may cost his life also. So it depends on training. So if we can train a lion or a tiger to do such a task, if we can train an elephant is such a gigantic animal, far more powerful than a man. Yes? But we see that such a big animal is being controlled by a simple boy, sitting on the neck of the elephant and just giving some direction. How come this is possible? And this big elephant is tied down to a small nail. They just tie down this elephant to a small nail. Now elephant can, very easily just pluck out this entire nail and just walk off. But he's not able to do so. He keeps himself, okay. He thinks that, okay, I am now captured here. I cannot move. How this is possible? By training. Yeah? So, it all depends on the training. If we can train such wild animals into discipline, and what to speak of the mind? Of course, mind is much difficult, but a comparison is made. So, how to train the mind? That is the subject matter of this chapter. Yes? So, in the matter of controlling or training, there is resistance. Yes? Whenever there is some training, that means we are not accustomed to do such activity. We are not used to do some activity, but we are being forced to do an activity. There is a discipline. You must do it, whether you like or not. Yes? So just like a tiger or a dog, he is repeatedly trained in a trick. Okay, you have to do this trick this way, and repeatedly, and he is rewarded for that. So he understands, he gets programmed. Okay, if I do this, I will be rewarded. So this is like a training formula. You have to set the pattern. You have to make the person, make the living entity do that activity repeatedly. So the mind also has to be dealt like that. In the effort of controlling the mind, in the Bhagavatam, it is compared that controlling the mind is like capturing a wild animal. So just like when a hunter is there, he captures a lion or a tiger. So he cannot be relaxed. If he has captured a ferocious animal, he has to keep guard. He has to be always alert. Yes, the lion and tiger may be in his captivity, but then if he is relaxed, if he gives one chance to that lion or tiger may escape the cage and first of all kill that hunter only. So hunter has to be very, very vigilant, very, very attentive to not let this animal get even one chance. So our mind is like that. Our mind is, you can square it or cube it or raise to power 10 times more difficult than controlling an animal. So that is the hard task we are to do. Someone may say, why at all bother to control the mind? अरे क्या करने का mind को control करके? Why I at all bother to control the mind? They wear the t-shirt, just do it. Yes? With great pride, they move around and say, why at all I need to bother the mind? Yes, just give in. Whatever you desire, just do it. Yes? So, what do you think is uh, is the solution for that? Or rather, is it right thing to do? Just do it. Is it the right formula to follow in life? No. Why? Because we may do it, but we may have to pay for it, right? Just like a criminal. He feels that, okay, I like to have the jewelry of this person. So he's not giving me willingly, so I'll kill him. So I may feel like, okay, just kill him and rob him and become rich. But then your actions will be the cause of your suffering. Yeah? So it's not that whatever we feel we can do, rather we should understand that our actions will have equal and opposite reactions. Yes? The law of karma will be forced upon us. So any pain we give to others will have to come to us. We can't escape that. So the followers of this philosophy, just do it, are blind to this understanding that their actions will soon have repercussions, will have reactions, right? So we should understand what is the right course of action. Just like you may be traveling in a car and there is a signal and you may feel like, Hare, mere aage, just the front guy broke the signal and went, and बाजू वाला भी चला गया signal तोड़ के, आजू बाजू सब लोग जा रहे हैं. So I also get tempted. चलो मैं भी, I will also go. There is no one to see around. But then the camera will record this, and then the slip will come to your home. Yes. So yes, we may be tempted to do the wrong thing, but we should understand that our actions will definitely have a reaction, either immediate or delayed. Immediate reaction may, suppose I slap someone out of anger. In trains it happens so much, you just tap upon a person and the person becomes like a fireball, and he gives so many bad words, and so then what he gets in return, he also get a blast. Yes? He also get a return blast. So this is like immediate reaction. And some reactions can be delayed. Okay, I did some wrong and I escaped the eyes of, people around. But then law of karma is not blind. The universal law of God is perfect and complete. Whatever wrong we do must, come upon us sooner or later. So yes, we must understand this, and therefore we should understand that mind forces us to do the wrong activity. Even though we may have known the right course of action, so still mind just does not want to do it. In the 3rd chapter we have seen that Arjuna is asking question, Atha kena prayuktena papam chariti purusha anichan api varshneya baladiva niyojitaha. So I don't want to do it. I know this is wrong, but still my mind forces me, balad, balpurvak. I am being forced into an activity. So then, what is the solution? Why it is happening? So Lord Krishna answers what? Why? What is the cause of this? What is this force which drives us without our desire, against our desire? Kama. So kama esha, krodha esha, rajo guna samudbhavaha. So the real problem is what makes us go against our codes of conduct or our sense of morality is this anartha, is this kama within the mind. So kam, krodh, lobh, moha, mad, matsarya, all these unwanted impurities, they are making us a weak-minded person. What makes a person weak-minded and strong-minded? The person who has conquered over these enemies of kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mad and matsarya. The one who has conquered these enemies, he becomes a strong-minded person. And one who has failed to control them, he remains a weakling. Even though he may be externally a very big person, a big bodybuilder or a very influential person, but then he remains a weakling, because he remains slave of these enemies. So what we need to do then, we have to curb down these enemies, Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, Matsarya, which has made the mind untrained. Mind is now untrained because it is in the grip of these enemies. So now the 6th chapter is to train the mind and curb down these enemies, purify our mind out of these impurities, and then bring it back to the natural state of the mind, which is, mind is the friend of the enemy, the living entity. And it helps the living entity to think of the Lord. So the way how to do this training is being explained in this chapter. And in the previous shloka, Lord gives a summary, a gist of the do's and don'ts. So in the 17th shloka, Lord says that how to control this mind. Yukta hara viharasya, yukta cheshtasya karmasu, yukta swapnava bodhasya, yoga bhavati dukkha ha. So our problems in life is because of what? Uncontrolled mind, yes? Uncontrolled mind leads to so many problems because we want to break the laws. In the influence of uncontrolled mind, we break the laws and then we suffer. So how to control this mind? By doing these activities. Yukta ahara. Become yukta. Yukta means regulated. Regulation means there has to be a control. It can't go without any control, unchecked. Anything you want to do, you can do. Yukta means there is a check, there is a control, there is a balance. Yukta ahara. Take your ahar in a balanced way. So yogi means he has mastered the science of balancing his daily activities. So yukta ahar, have your ahar in a regulated way, neither eating too much, neither eating too less. Viharasya, in your activities of recreation. So you need to be balanced. Yukta cheshtasya, you need to be balanced in your pursuits for your daily life, like your job and all. It has to be regulated, not that you simply round the clock go on working and utterly neglect your spiritual upliftment. Don't give any time to your spiritual development. Just go on doing mundane work for the sake of this body. So yukta cheshtasya karmasu. So we need to be balanced in these activities. Then what will happen? And yukta swapna avabodhasya. Be regulated in your sleep also. So neither too less sleep, neither too much sleep. Both has to be avoided. So when we do this activities, yukta ahar, yukta vihar, yukta cheshtasya, yukta swapnava bodhasya, then what will happen? Yoga bhavati dukkha ha. By this yoga, our miseries will vanish. At least the miseries which is caused due to body and mind will vanish. Yes? The body will not become diseased and the mind will be more or less settled. And then, what is the perfection? Whether this yoga process is done properly. What is the testimony of this? Yada viniyatam chittam atmanni eva avatishtate. So, this chitta has become, whether this chitta, this mind has come completely in the control, that will be the test. So, if it has come into our control, then the yoga process is successful. And Srila Prabhupada gives lecture in this series of verses and he explains that what it means to bring, what it means that mind is under our control. So, actually, mind, it has to desire something. There is constant, surge of desires within the mind. So, it is not possible to empty the mind of the desires. But we have to purify those desires. Instead of desiring sense gratification, we need to desire service to Krishna. And that is the only way we can make the mind pacified, make the mind controlled, make the mind purified. So unless mind is having Krishna conscious desire, mind will not be controlled, mind will not come into our grip. Yatha viniyatam chittam will not happen. Because material desire make us, do so many activities. The cause of our activities is what? Desire. So nowadays we see so many advertisements are bombarded upon us through the social media. Or everywhere you go, there is so much advertisement on YouTube, Facebook, wherever you see hoardings. So what they do, they know the signs that they need to just plant the seed of desire within your mind. And then repeatedly, if done so, it will turn into action. Okay, you will see some ad and repeatedly you will say, oh, this ice cream I should eat, this ice cream I should eat. And then finally you will opt for that ice cream only. So this desire turn into action. So the desires are the cause of our wrong activities or whatever activities we do. So if the desires are material, we end up doing material activities which harm the soul, which take the soul further down in the modes of material nature. It goes more down and down in tamoguna. But if we desire Krishna conscious activities, then automatically we want to do Krishna conscious activities, and that will lead to what? Further and further elevation of the soul. Out of the modes. Finally, the soul will come out of these three gunas, sattvagun, rajogun, tamogun, and will be able to establish himself in the pure state of Shuddha Sattva. So, that is the formula, that if we want to train the mind, if we want to bring mind under subjugation, then artificial things will not work. Just like Prabhupada is mentioning here, that the so-called yogis who try to do meditation, nowadays so much hodgepodge is being propagated. They say that, okay, you can just pay some fees and do some meditation. During Prabhupada time, there was a group, they were doing some meditation, and Prabhupada said that I saw them, after 10 minutes they snore. Karate marte hain. They snore heavily. In the name of meditation, they sleep. So what is the use of such meditation? So the process, the real process of meditation is chanting the holy names. The real process of meditation is japa. As Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yajnanam japa yajyo asmi. 10th chapter, 25th shloka, Lord says that of all the types of yagyas, I am the japa yajna. So japa is not something ordinary which we do. When we do japa, we are doing the most powerful process recommended in the scriptures, recommended in the Bhagavad Gita. So when we do the authorized process, that bears fruit. If we do something of our own concoction, then it will not bear the fruit. So we need to do the things recommended in the scriptures, and chanting is the process. And as we read here, the example of Ambarish Maharaj, he 100% engaged his entire existence, his mind, his senses, his body, everything in service to Krishna. So we have to serve something, yes, with our body, our mind, our words. We have to serve something or someone, yes. So the question is, why not Krishna? We have to serve someone, why not God? So, if we serve, what is the difference between both the service? If we serve someone, a person of this world, then what will be the result? The result will be frustration on both ends. The person whom he is serving, he will not be satisfied. Hai na, boss. You serve the boss, to your best, and still he will be saying, no, you have still a room of improvement. I'm just kidding. You may find your own particular examples in your life. But the thing is, the fact is fact. The person whom you are serving will never be satisfied. He will be wanting more of you. And neither you will be satisfied. Yes? neither the person who is served, he is satisfied, neither the person who is serving, he is satisfied. Both see frustration. Yes? But when we serve Krishna, then what happens? Krishna is such a master that even if we can do a slightest of the small service, even if we do, Krishna will regard it as, a great service done. Swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Agar, even if we do a small fraction of activity for Krishna, if you come to temple and give a broom here, or just even help a devotee, in some way, help distribution of the Bhagavad Gita or books, and help a person chant Hare Krishna, then what will happen? Lord is telling you will eternally be benefited. Even at the time of death, you will be saved because of that activity. So, the Master is so great, which regards our service so nicely, and so he is satisfied by our even small service, and we also become completely satisfied. Yeah? So, a person, that is why, you go to, so many temples are there, so many volunteers they serve. Yes? So they don't get anything in return. They don't get anything in return. All these devotees, they are not getting anything in return. So Prabhupada said that, when devotees saw first time the foreign devotees chanting Hare Krishna, so they were amazed. Swamiji, what you have done? How you have convinced these Americans and Europeans to chant Hare Krishna and dedicate their life? So Prabhupada said, see, I am a poor man. I am an Indian and I am a poor man. I didn't bribe them to do this. कि भाई थोड़ा आप 1 लाख रुपया लो और थोड़ा डांस करके आओ. I didn't bribe them like this. So if they are not getting satisfaction within, then why will they do this? This is the testimony. If they are dedicating their life, that means, and they are not getting anything in return, materially they are not getting any remuneration for that. So why they will do this? That means they are getting some higher taste, some higher satisfaction. So that is the testimony. So the servant will be satisfied, the master will be satisfied, and the whole seva, the whole service will become very pleasing compared to the material service which we do. It is simply frustrating. Yes? So the way we can bring our mind in subjugation is through Krishna seva, and the topmost seva, is, or rather the seva begins with Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grayam indre sevon mukai jivada swayam eva spurutyadaha. So we may not right now experience the Lord with our senses, but we need to purify our senses, and this purification will happen through seva. And the highest seva is chanting the holy names. Sevan mukahi jivhado swayam eva spurteda. Atha Shri Krishna Naam Adi. So Krishna Naam is very powerful, and if we take this Krishna Naam with sincere heart, we will conquer everything in this world, and surely the mind. Yes, we can conquer Krishna even. Krishna is known as Ajita, one who cannot be conquered. But by pure devotion, Krishna also becomes conquered. And the way to pure devotion is chanting his holy names sincerely. So Lord will be appearing to us now. We will welcome him by loudly chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. All of you can responsively say, Hare Krishna! Hare Krishna! Krishna Krishna! Hare Hare! Hare Rama! Hare Rama! Rama Rama! Hare Hare! Shri Shri Radha Ras Bihari Ji ki jai, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki jai, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Anant Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai, Bhagavad Vani Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.